as we bring in Amitabh Tiwari, founder Vote Vibe, we've also reflected his data, giving a clear edge to NDA, but not a very comfortable sweep to the NDA. Welcome, Amitabh Tiwari. What we've also done is with the data, Maria, that Amitabh has given us, and Rajdeep, those 12 seats that we talk of, and let's put that in context where those 12 seats which are going on a friendly fight for the Mahagathbandhan. In context, juxtapose it with the entire margin of vote of victory. The last time around was less than 10,000 votes. You have 12 seats that the MGB Mahagathbandhan is fighting itself on. If it comes down to the wire, the MGB could possibly be kicking itself if you actually look at what is being projected, Maria, where these 12 seats are concerned.
I'm going to actually take that on the big wall here, because these contests, are they weakening Mahagathbandhan's campaign and could perhaps swing close seats to the NDA? Let's look at these friendly fights that we are looking at, 12 seats in all. Which way are they going? Take a look at Vaishali. Both parties have strong candidates. In fact, RJD has fielded a Kushwaha versus a Congress nominee. Analysts are giving, in fact, it's Amitabh Tiwari who's projecting that it is RJD which is ahead. We are looking at Kahalgaon, again, interesting seat. This is a historic Congress bastion, and here there is a direct clash between Congress party's Praveen Singh Kushwaha versus RJD's Rajneesh Bharti, and NDA is likely to gain here because the vote is getting split. When we are looking at other seats, look at this, Bachwara. This is a Congress versus CPI battle here that is playing out. It's a high-stakes battle because here CPI's Avadhesh Rai versus Congress Shiv Prakash Garib Das. This seat in 2020 had a razor-thin margin of just 484 votes, so less than 500, and hence it is looking like a 50-50 contest. Bihar Sharif is witnessing a Congress versus CPI fight, which is likely to benefit NDA. So in all, if we were to look at it, it is appearing not too good news for the other side. Although when I had asked that specific question to Tejashwi Yadav about this friendly fight, he said that could be a part of the strategy, something that the India parties did in the neighboring state of Jharkhand.
Strategy, because the RJD versus VIP, the fresh data that's just coming.
So this RJD versus VIP, we are looking at Gora Boram in Darbhanga. Initially there was a clash, but VIP withdrew its candidate in Santosh Sahni to support RJD leader Afzal Ali Khan after pressure for the unity. And then you have Kaimur seat, which is Chainpur in Kaimur. Major flashpoint here because the VIP wanted the seat, but RJD refused to concede, and hence you're seeing this contest. So it's not really a strategy. If it is going to be a contest similar to 2020, in which the vote gap between the winner and the party number two, which is the Mahagathbandhan and the NDA, was just 12,486 votes, then this is where the battle for Bihar will be settled. Preeti.
Amitabh Tiwari, let's bring you in on the data, that you've projected on these 12 seats, because it practically mirrors also what Pradeep Gupta said yesterday, that these are not friendly fights, these are suicidal fights. If it comes down to the wire, which is, one scenario that it could, these 12 seats will do the Mahagathbandhan in.
Yeah, so technically the Mahagathbandhan is contesting only on 228 seats because 12 are friendly fights and 3 candidates' nominations have been rejected, whereas the NDA, only 1 candidate has been rejected. So it's largely 228 versus 242. Now, I think Rajdeep would also recollect Krishna Alavaru was there on his program, and he had also mentioned that this is a strategy. Some of it is friendly fights and some of it is strategic contest. So largely we are saying that at the max, the Mahagathbandhan can win 3 out of these 12, even if we give Bachwara, which is a battleground seat, to the Mahagathbandhan. So essentially, if this is a strategy that you are trying to put the core vote block of the NDA caste candidate in either of the 2 parties, then you should have put all these candidates on all the 243 seats. Correct? Let's say an upper caste candidate from NDA, a Yadav candidate from Mahagathbandhan, and an upper caste from Congress. I mean, this is very theoretical sort of a strategy that an upper caste candidate, if we field from a Mahagathbandhan, will damage or neutralize the potential of the NDA candidate. So I think, yes, you are right. If the contest turns out to be very close, then these 12 seats could prove to be very, very costly for the NDA, for the
Rajdeep,
Mahagathbandhan going forward.
Rajdeep, would you, what do you make of it? Because I was, Maria, Bihar Sharif Bachwara, 2 seats which would have gone in a whisker to the Mahagathbandhan. If there is a contest today and the Mahagathbandhan might be losing out, it is only the Mahagathbandhan to blame. These were traditional seats which would have been taken in a jiffy by the Mahagathbandhan. Rajdeep, suicidal strategy, you would think?
Yes, in any friendly fight is only on paper. There is nothing like friendly fight in politics, particularly in a state like Bihar. In Bihar, once you're a candidate, you go into the election with all the fight that you can summon up. I think it shows the limitations today of the Congress in terms of its bargaining power. There was a time when the Congress could dictate terms, much like the BJP does today. It's not in a position to do that. I recall when Lalu was in charge, he was an extremely hard bargainer. It was very, very difficult to get a seat out of a Lalu Prasad in Bihar or a Mulayam Singh in Uttar Pradesh. I think the mistake the Congress made is that there was 40-day window, both the Congress and the RJD made, between the SIR exercise and the announcement of the election should have been used to settle seat sharing disputes. Some element of give and take is required. The Congress has done it successfully to some extent in states like Kerala. Now, why can't you do it in Bihar? Because here you've got a dominating regional party which is not going to concede. You've got left with its pockets of influence. You see, the problem is the Congress has no core base vote. In Bihar, and this is what Prashant Kishore also is suffering from, you need a base vote. Yadav Muslim vote, upper caste vote, Dalit vote, as Chirag Paswan has among his own Paswan community. Congress has no base vote. When you come to the dialogue table with no base vote, then how do you negotiate hard? That's been the problem, and therefore as a last minute, you decided on a friendly fight. In my view, this is, you're absolutely right, going to be possibly an Achilles heel for the Mahagathbandhan and shows the limitations, particularly today in the Congress party in its ability to dialogue and negotiate with allies.
Does it also mean then, Sajjan Kumar, come in, that it's about a problem of the next generation? Perhaps Sonia Gandhi and Lalu Yadav had better equation and they understood the strengths of each other in the state and at the center. Lalu Yadav obviously did not negotiate or bargain in the Lok Sabha as much as he did in the state assemblies. That's where the issue is. It's about the problem of the next generation where Tejashwi and Rahul Gandhi may be seen together riding a bike, but when it comes to brass tacks about seat sharing, that's where they leave it to their other party players, and then the problem begins.
Look, politics cannot be always about, politics of spectacles, politics of thrill. So when it came to spectacular politics like sending an image, signifying some big moment, then you find Rahul Gandhi, Tejashwi, they all come and join hands. But politics overwhelmingly is also about mundane everydayness, about doing the boring job that the likes of Lalu Prasad Yadav, Sonia Gandhi, the likes of Modi, Amit Shah, they are known to do behind the curtain, So this next generation is more about thrill in the sense that they need some big spectacle to announce, to come to the fore, and that limits their accessibility to the rank and file. And in Bihar, it was quite known that Alavaru and Tejashwi were not getting well until the last moment. Right. The meeting between the two leaders, one-to-one, was not happening because you need some sort of personal chemistry to resolve this issue. That could have been the case. On the NDA side, you saw that Dharmendra Pradhan is coming, Amit Shah is coming. From other side,
you're right there. Sajjan Kumar, the optics lay with the NDA at least in this, but I want to bring in Amitabh as well back into this conversation. Amitabh is also on a clock. Vote Vibe, where he's launched with his data, has to continually go into other channels. So Amitabh, bringing you in very quickly before we also bring in Javed. I want you to take a moment to reflect on what you found on ground. A lot has been made that there was a lot of friction between the MGB components. RJD was not getting along with the Congress. The Congress was not getting along with the left parties. There was a lot of friction on ground, and I saw that in Bachwara and in Bihar Sharif, where practically the cadre would come out and say कि जूता चप्पल चल रहा है. But having said that, was the vote transfer, Amitabh Tiwari, seamless where it came down to the JDU and the LJP? Because a lot of JDU cadre also seemed to suggest we'll pay back LJP in the same coin of 2020.
If you see the weak link in NDA kitty is largely the NJP, HUM and the RLM. They are contesting on 40 seats, but 30 of those contests are against the RJD. And on, I think, 19 of those seats, there are RJD sitting MLAs. So what is happening is also that there, I mean, whatever projections we have made or we've seen across other exit polls, if you ask what are the big risk factors to that projection, one of them will be the risk of seamless vote transfer between JDU and BJP also, and JDU and LJP. Because JDU and LJP suffer from a traditional deficit because of this Mahadalit and Dalit category creation, or the Mahadalit category creation by Nitish Kumar, which led to halving of the, almost half of the vote share of LJP. And then you have this JDU versus BJP in a sense that JDU not being announced as the CM face, Nitish Kumar. This also may impact some of the vote transfer between JDU and the BJP at the ground level. Also, the Muslim community, which is supporting JDU in some seats, largely because of the Mahila Rozgar Yojana, that same level of enthusiasm is not seen amongst the Muslim Yadav women when it comes to candidates being fielded from the BJP. So I think these are the risks, potential risks to any
Amitabh,
projection
you know,
tomorrow, which we'll
this
have to wait
was
and
being
see.
discussed in political circles in Patna. It was also being seen among reporters like us who traveled on ground, that there is that fear among EBCs also that what if Nitish Kumar is not made the chief minister after the victory, in case if the NDA forms the government. Do you think that can also be one of the reasons why this is appearing to be a close contest?
See, essentially, I think the BJP and the JDU top leadership at least have tried to manage it well, because the top two have not declared Nitish clearly as the CM face, largely to keep the one-third BJP supporters who do not want Nitish as CM happy in their camp, because there is an threat from the Jan Swaraj party. But what is also happening is that the JDU leadership never openly challenged this. In fact, the JDU leadership agreed to the fact that okay, नीतीश के नेतृत्व में चुनाव लड़ा जा रहा है और नीतीश ही सीएम रहेंगे. So this is the message which they have tried to convey to the voters and cadres and supporters. So how effectively this works, we will have to wait and see
Remains
tomorrow.
to be seen. Rajdeep, would you want to take a question from Amitabh before we let him go?
You know, interestingly, Amitabh, when Pradeep Gupta came, he said that the only potential X factor to his poll findings was, have they underpolled or overpolled Prashant Kishore? If they have overpolled him, then the NDA could sweep. If they have underpolled him, it could be tighter. And he was not clear whether the higher voter turnout included a high youth population. What's your sense? Is there anything, any straw of hope for the Mahagathbandhan? Any scenario? What could go wrong with these exit polls? Or is it NDA 130 or else above 160?
Yeah, so I think two factors I already mentioned. One is the risk of seamless transfer between JDU BJP and JDU LJP largely. The second is the extent of alpha which pollsters like us are assuming or we are getting in respect of the male lead for the NDA, rather the female lead for the NDA, which is 10% in our case and even I think 5% in case of Access My India. So if this female lead is lesser, then it poses risks. And the third, of course, is the vote share of Jan Swaraj, which is currently at 5% in our projections. So if this increases, then what happens is that the close contest seats, which are 83 in number in 2020, where the margins was less than 5%, and both Mahagathbandhan and NDA won 37 and 38 each, these could then turn to be decisive. So it all depends on largely these three factors.
All right, Amitabh Tiwari, thank you for giving us your time. Okay, yes, go ahead, Rajdeep. Sorry, go, make your point. Stay with us, Amitabh, don't go anywhere.
Not to Amitabh. No, I just want to emphasize the point. Amitabh said, you know, he's looking at 80 plus seats where there are close contests. I think we have to even further hone it down to about 52 seats, which were less than 5,000. And in a state where you had that kind of a contest, you would think that 2025 also may be tricky to predict. But I keep repeating, 2020 was against the backdrop of COVID. And I think that changed that election to a large extent in Bihar. It brought a new factor of sense of disaffection, even anger among those who had lost their near and dear ones or had suddenly been uprooted from their lives because of COVID. That doesn't exist this time. So in that sense, this could be a more normal Bihar election where caste identities assert themselves far more strongly.